and welcome back to Belle's Books. Today I have a very exciting video which is the 4 best books about pandemics. Obviously, pandemics have been on everyone's mind recently. So we have a science fiction book, we have a historical romance book, we have a satire novel, and we have a short read. Because obviously everyone has different interests and might be interested in reading different types of books. The science fiction book, this is the best science fiction book I can find or I have read about a pandemic. And it is Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood. So this is a science fiction novel about a global pandemic caused by genetic engineering that sweeps across the world and ends humanity as we know it. And it's kind of structured with alternations between present day and flashbacks to the pre-apocalypse time. So you get a really interesting variety of characters, you see a lot of character development, and they really changed out the novel and you understand their backstories. I would recommend this book to anyone who loves science fiction and wants to read a book about a pandemic which isn't necessarily a happy ending, but is definitely a suspenseful, dramatic read. The next book is the best historical romance about a pandemic, and this is Love in a Time of Cholera by Gabriel Marquez. So this is a historical romance set in Colombia on the Caribbean coast in the late 1800s. The whole novel is about the disease of love, and it's a comparison between love and cholera. So yes, it's a romance novel, yes, it's historical, but it's not a typical romance novel. It's not a typical happy, lovey-dovey one. It's all about jealousy, anger, vengeance, unrequited love, and all the more negative emotions that surround love. This book is written with a lot of detailed description and in a very conversational writing style, which makes it easy and enjoyable to read. I would recommend this book to anyone who wants to read a historical romance and anyone who wants to read a book which puts a spin on some more traditional ideas like pandemics or love. So next we have the best satire novel about a pandemic, and this is Severance by Ling Ma. It's set in the US during the fictional pandemic of Shang Fever, which originated in Shenzhen, China. And I think that's really interesting, first of all, because obviously there's a strong connection between the coronavirus here. So basically in this book, fever turns people into mindless drones who don't choose things or feel things. And it's written in a flashback writing style about a pandemic survivor. And there are a bunch of different connecting storylines, and it's quite a bleak outlook. So I wouldn't read this if you want something more optimistic. I would really just recommend this to anyone who wants to read a pandemic novel that has a tone a little different from classic science fiction or historical romance. So the final book that I'm going to recommend to you today is an easy read book. So this is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. And when I say easy read, that does not mean in any way that it's not a good book, or that it's not recommended, or that it isn't highly rated. So in this novel, a pandemic kills 99% of the population, and there's a strong focus on character development and a flash forward, flashback narrative style, which I think is quite common of books about pandemics. And it's a very short read. I would recommend this book to anyone who wants to read a piece of literature about a pandemic but doesn't want to spend ages doing it, just wants to be able to say that they've read a book about a pandemic recently. I think that the main characters are quite likeable, you end up rooting for them, and yeah, those are the reasons I would recommend that. So I hope that one of these books appeals to you, and I hope that you read it, and if you do, please come back and leave a comment on this video, because I would love to hear about what you've been reading. And if you have any more suggestions for books about pandemics, then leave a comment down below as well. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you all have a great day.